Well, hello, free people of the Rocky Mountain region. This is Brandon from Free State, Colorado. Hope you had a great week. Looking forward to Thanksgiving coming up. But I just wanted to quickly share this story with you. This is absolutely ridiculous. You've probably seen these headlines. I think there's a little more to the story potentially, which we'll get into. But Denver mayor wants city cops, that's Denver police, to keep out federal deportation agents. I mean, pretty ridiculous, right? The idea that Denver police officers are going to say, hey, we're going to ICE, immigration officials, Homeland Security, you're not allowed into the city to go after these illegal aliens. I mean, I don't think that's going to work for one. Of course, the mayor is speaking hyperbole. He's really trying to focus on being this resistance figure to Trump, just like Jared Polis and a lot of these other ridiculous elected representatives. But nonetheless, a lot of ridicule, a lot of controversy, rightly so. If you haven't seen it, here's actually what the Denver mayor said. This is from denver7.com. Of course, all these headlines shared at freestatecolorado.com as well. Denver mayor suggests using Denver police to block mass deportations under Trump. Mayor Mike Johnston said DPD would be stationed at the county line to keep the feds out and said 50,000 Denverites would also be there. Yeah, come on, nobody believes this, but here we go. Quote, more than us having DPD stationed at the county line to keep them out. You would have 50,000 Denverites there, Johnston told Denverite in an interview. It's like the Tiananmen Square moment with the rose and the gun, right? You'd have every one of those Highland moms who came out for the migrants, and you do not want to mess with them. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Of course, this idea that these people of Denver are going to rise up and try and defend all these illegal immigrants here in the city is going to happen. Not really. No, not likely there, right? Those comments were shared on social media, quickly went viral. Some social media users said Johnston would be in violation of federal law. Maybe accurate there, probably. Others accused the mayor of trying to start a civil war. We've seen a lot of this rhetoric, of course, since Trump won the election from our governor, from mayor, from a lot of these other blue state, unfortunately, here in Colorado, elected representatives. We got Jason Crow and all these other people trying to make themselves into this resistance figure, trying to capture that moment, right? Trying to capture that idea that they're going to be the ones standing up for the anti Trump people. Denver 7 tried asking Johnston about his comments on Thursday morning after he left a holiday event, but he fled from reporters, saying he had to get to another event. It was pretty funny footage. He's run into the car, jumps in the car, and takes off. The media's asking him, "Do you really mean this? Come on, let's get a statement from you about these ridiculous statements you just made." So there you go, people. I mean, this idea that Tiananmen Square moment is going to happen with the rose and the rifle. A lot of people think he was confusing his historical events by talking more about like the Kent State massacre, the Kent State situation that happened so many years ago, where you have these student peace anti-war protesters putting roses in the guns of the National Guardsmen who are standing guard. A little bit different story with Tiananmen Square, where you have the Chinese government, massacring people and killing them with tanks and guns and things like that. I mean, it didn't end, the Tiananmen Square situation did not end up well for the protesters. So the fact that Mike Johnston would make that kind of analogy is totally irresponsible and kind of just shows so much ignorance, unfortunately. But here we go. Here's Newsweek. We're seeing national headlines, international headlines. Mayor predicts Tiananmen Square moment with Trump deportation plan. I mean, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So KOA A5 down in Colorado Springs was able to get a statement back from the Trump administration or the Trump team here. And they said, quote, on day one, President Trump will marshal every lever of power to secure the border, protect their communities, and launch the largest mass deportation operation of illegal immigrant criminals in history is what they said. So that's the response from the Trump transition team as they come in. But so we'll see how this plays out, of course, over the next few months. But absolutely ridiculous to think that Denver police and 50,000 people from Denver are going to line up and try and stop deportations from happening. Even Elon Musk here was getting in on it. So you can see there at the bottom, Elon Musk posted here on X, the mayor of Denver hates his constituents. This is a tweet from Greg Price. Denver Mayor Mike Johnston, I will use the police to blockade the feds from deporting illegals. One day later, illegal alien in Denver is charged with raping a 14-year-old girl. So definitely conflicting headlines there, right? I mean, All it takes is people to look in the news and see so much crime, violence, this crime tourism we're seeing. Of course, the Venezuelan gang issue, all of these problems across the Denver metro area, and for the mayor to say he's going to side with the criminals over the people, I don't think he's going to get a lot of support with that. If you click into that, you can actually see the little video. That's Johnston getting into the vehicle, running away from reporters who are challenging him on his statement. But then, yeah, Daily Wire, illegal alien charged with raping 14-year-old girl in Denver as mayor opposes deportation effort. Yikes. Absolutely terrible stuff. Glad they caught the guy. Hope he gets with the worst punishment there possible. But Elon, the mayor of Denver, hates his constituents. Yeah, sounds about right. Mayor of Denver supports an agenda that's going to help him politically and help his little team out, but it's not really about the people. And here we go. Just a few more days ago from KDVR, woman shot while walking her dog near Jefferson Park. So of course, one of the bigger issues going on in Denver is this crime. People are unsafe. Here's a woman walking her dog and she gets shot. Here's the article. Laurel loves to walk her dog Sawyer in the park and said she's always seen Denver as a dog friendly place. Thursday, she was walking in Jefferson Park with Sawyer when she saw two juveniles checking cars for unlocked doors. I very quickly realized they were dangerous, Laurel said. That's definitely hard to have that sense of safety and then have it ripped away from you. The pair of juveniles spotted her and gave chase. Laurel attempted to make it back to her apartment, but the pair caught up. That's when they shot her in the thigh, shattering her femur. What? She's just walking her dog, sees people, not to say these have anything to do with immigration, of course, but nonetheless, these are the real issues affecting people in Denver. It's unsafe. There's criminals everywhere. And then, of course, the mayor wants to make everything about Trump and about federal immigration. Totally irresponsible, not doing his due diligence. Part of me wonders, though, if Mayor Johnston is just trying to distract the press, keep the narrative going about Trump and not about what's happening in the city. Not that he can avoid it, but here's a Westward article, just very recent as well, November 21st. Denver city staffer suing mayor's office over lost promotion ties to election opponent. Jessica Calderon, 42, is the Director of Operations and Innovation at the city's Office of Social Equity and Innovation. Oh boy. During the 2023 mayoral election, she supported candidate Lisa Calderon, no relation, and up until earlier this year was a member of Calderon's organization, the Latinos United Neighbors Association. Lisa Calderon ultimately came in third place in the mayor's race with a seat going to Johnston, but Jessica Calderon's link to the failed candidate has resulted in her supervisor at the Denver Office of Social Equity and Innovation repeatedly questioning her about her work with Luna and her loyalty to Johnston, according to the federal lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court on Wednesday, November 20th. Quote, he said she needed to decide what she would do, and she could not work for the mayor and criticize the work of the city, the lawsuit reads. When Calderon applied for a deputy executive director position this summer, she was denied the promotion in favor of Brian Feroz, a manager at Johnston's former company, Gary Community Ventures. Now she's crying foul. Gary Community Ventures has so much money they put into Mayor Johnston's election campaign. And of course, now here's one of their people coming in, getting this executive director position in some probably cushy office job that doesn't do anything. Another quote from the article here, quote, you cannot be on both sides of the table, Jessica Calderon's boss allegedly told her. So you got retaliation, you have fear, you have them questioning the loyalty of the employees. And I can only imagine with all the scrutiny, all the problems that the city and the mayor's office is experiencing, they do not want to tolerate any type of dissent or any type of criticism coming from their own people. I mean, absolutely crazy there. Another one here. Now, this is from back in February, but it's making the rounds again. Libs of TikTok, 5.8 million views, 5.8 million views. Denver Mayor Mike Johnston announces cuts in services at the DMV and Parks and Recs to free up more resources for illegals. He warns there will be more cuts coming. He blames Republicans for his decision to cut services to Denver residents. Democrats made Denver a sanctuary city in 2017. Democrats control Colorado and pass progressive immigration policies in 2021. So, of course, we cannot forget that the Denver mayor and his office there with their budgeting is cutting services to people who are taxpayers. They were not going to plant flowers. The city is moving in the wrong direction for sure. Very unfortunate, of course, but nonetheless wanted to bring that one up because it is making those rounds again. And then here's another controversy. I mean, this is November 21st, people. This is all within the last week. I mean, absolutely crazy. Denver isn't tracking homeless spending and has gaps in safety policies with contractors, auditor finds. Auditor says city couldn't account for overall expenses. Denver 7. So they audited the homeless spending. City of Denver's not tracking where the money's going. It's a big surprise there. There's gaps in the safety policies. Contractors are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. There's a lack of security. I mean, come on. These are the real issues affecting the people of Denver. There's this massive homelessness issue. There's crime everywhere. Businesses are fleeing downtown. It's becoming a hostile place for people to live and work. And the mayor, of course, wants to grandstand on the Trump issue and claim that Denver police, their best use of their resources is to try and fend off immigration services. Absolutely crazy. Just quickly here, the auditor found that the Department of Housing Stability, also known as HOST, is not tracking overall spending on homelessness and cannot effectively, quote, ensure transparency and accountability to residents. This is typical government. This is why these programs fail. Somebody's making a lot of money. Some nonprofit is getting tons and tons of money poured into their coffers, into their bank account, paid for by the city of Denver taxpayers, and nobody can say where the money's going. When the auditor asked the department for overall expenses between January 2022 and through March 2024, the department was unable to provide the data after multiple requests. Using only invoices, the auditor found nearly $150 million in spending. The audit also found the department wasn't holding contractors accountable and didn't have adequate safety policies in place. The contractor receiving the most money, the Salvation Army, which received over $27 million in contracts, wasn't holding up their end of the deal. 3 months into a contract to operate a shelter at the former Doubletree Hotel at Quebec Street and 40th Avenue, with a security budget of $807,000. $800,000 is their security budget. 3 people were shot inside the shelter and 2 were killed. The auditor found the Salvation Army didn't install any additional cameras and no security guards were on site, but their budget was $800,000 for security for the year. I mean, so irresponsible. Denver is failing to do its job. It's failing to follow through with its commitment to its taxpayers, its citizens, and the mayor should be embarrassed and ashamed of himself. Not only that, but Forrest Mommy over at Twitter, you got to follow her, X, excuse me, but on Twitter, X, great follow here. But look at this. The mayor recently signed a letter with 500 other elected officials urging the federal government to bring 2.8 million more in. That's right. So, you have that statement from the mayor there. And then, of course, he was on that list where the bipartisan state and local people wrote this letter saying we need more immigrants into our community. These are all the people from Colorado. Of course, Mayor Johnston is right at the top. So we know what it is. It's all politics. It's not about doing their job. It's not about protecting the people of Denver. It's not about using their tax money well. It's about playing a game. It's about playing politics with people's lives, with the safety and security of the people in the city, and trying to be this force of resistance against Trump. I mean, people got to get tired of this stuff, right? When you see what's happening, you see all these homeless people sleeping on the streets. You hear gunshots at night. People are afraid to walk their dogs, and then the mayor makes ridiculous statements about that. So, one last one here, a little bit of an update. I hate sharing stuff from 9 News just because they're the worst, but this is just came out here. Denver Mayor Mike Johnston backtracks comments about sending Denver police officers to block Trump deportation efforts. Of course, he knows it's ridiculous. He knows he didn't really mean it. As he's a politician, they say things they don't mean all the time. But check this out here. He is willing to go to jail to stop efforts made by the future president that he believes are illegal or wrong. Yeah, right. Come on. Nobody expects that Johnston is going to be this civil disobedience figure here. In an interview with 9 News on Friday, Johnston walked those claims back. Would I have taken it back if I could? Yes. I probably wouldn't have used that image, Johnston said. That's the image I hope we can avoid. What I was trying to say is that this is an outcome I hope we can avoid in this country. I think none of us want that. Johnston believes that Denver residents will participate in civil disobedience if Trump moves forward with his campaign promises to deport illegal immigrants. In cases where Johnston believes the future commander in chief is wrong or performing something that is illegal, the mayor says he is willing to go to jail to stand up against it. I mean, you can't roll your eyes hard enough, people. Mayor is playing his little political games while the city is burning. I mean, there you go. What else can you say here? Nonetheless, there we go with what Mayor Johnston using Denver police, going to jail, 50,000 people, doing a sit-in to try and stop this deportation efforts. We'll see how it plays out, but nonetheless, this is the state of Denver politics. Appreciate you joining. Again, Brandon, Free State, Colorado. Got some other interesting stuff coming up here soon. So take care.